Yo, YouTube, what is up? Um, it's December. You already know. I'm about to rank the movies I've seen throughout the month of November, starting from the worst to the best. I'm gonna talk about my top 5 movies. So here we go. Again, this is not an original idea. If you've seen the past two ones I did, well, Karsten Runkist is the channel that inspired this idea. Alright, so starting at the bottom of the list here, we have Leprechaun, Unhuman, Run Sweetheart Run, Enola Holmes 1, the first Enola Holmes, Soul Plane, Missing Link, Zack and Miri make a adult film, Where the Crawdads Sing, Boo, The World Is Not Enough, Barnyard, I'm Still Here, UHF, Fistful of Dollars, The Dictator, For a Few Dollars More, The Long Dumb Road, The Way Way Back, Death Proof, On the Count of Three, Stronger, Beautiful Boy and 28 Days Later, Weird, the Ali Yankovic Story, Back to the Future, Good Will Hunting. Now, top 5, here we go. Memories of Murder. Yeah, it's a great movie. Fantastically. It's about like a Korean, some serial killer in Korea. Like the first ever known crime. Like first ever known murder crime in Korea, like a big investigation in Korea. Like I think North Korea, I'm pretty sure. Small area in North Korea. And it's really interesting, like, because it shows like 3 different people get suspected, and the 3 of them admits what they do to these girls, because these girls are getting, you know, what's the word to describe it? These girls are getting unconsensually touched and murdered. And these guys, they admit to what they do, right? So, like, the first girl gets killed and whatever. And the first guy, he admits everything he does. And then there's another girl that dies. But she doesn't die. She somehow escapes and survives. And she tells a story, and she says that she talks about someone else different who attacked her. You know? She talks about someone else different who attacked her. So then they go find that guy. And he admits everything he did. And then there's a third guy that they did not figure out. Right? There's a third guy. I forgot what happened, but there's this third guy that did not admit what he did because he didn't do anything. They just suspected him, and he did not admit he did anything. Because, like, the past 2 admitted it, right? This guy didn't admit it, and did not find out who the guy was that did it to the last girl, that attacked this last girl. And it's really interesting. So the movie ends with the investigation unfinished, right? And this is based on like a true investigation that happened in Korea. And it's really well done, really well acted, incredibly amazing. Right. Number 4, Whiplash. We have what's his name? Miles Teller. Miles Teller and what's it? Oh gosh. Miles Teller and fuck. What's the guy's name? He plays J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies. Frick, what's his Simon? Simon? What's his name? Frick. I'll just call him Jonah for the character he plays in Spider-Man. And the guy that plays J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. So it's a movie about obsession with power to getting to the top. So there's this kid in the band, and the band teacher's like really strict. Like he's like this really strict guy. J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons. Yes, that's his name. So he pressures the main character so much, right? Like he puts so much pressure on the main character here that he makes the main character like abandon everything else in his life to focus solely on the drums, right? Like he's like full on like stresses this guy out so much, right? And the main character, he's so obsessed with being the best that he does everything in his power to just focus on the drums because of the band teacher being so I can't find the right words to describe it, but he was like this very like gosh, he was very strict about everything. Like very, very strict about everything. He was just pushing everyone to do better. No, it was just his way of pushing everyone to do better, but like not the right way to do it, but it was his way of doing it. And he was just a very terrible guy, I would say. Because main character almost freaking dies one time. The main character pushes himself to the point his hands start bleeding from banging the drums with the sticks. Like, it's crazy. It's so well done, well written. The acting is freaking perfect. It's magnificent. Number 3, Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. There isn't a whole lot to say about this. It's just simply incredible for a 60s movie. How they thought of this in the 60s. And how beautifully shot it is. Like the cinematography is beautiful for its time. Space stuff, the whole sci-fi stuff. Very innovative for its time. Like, it's more innovative than Star Wars. Like, just like the way they thought of this sci-fi world, this, well, I don't want to say like a sci-fi world, but this futuristic setting, what they thought of what 2001 would be like. But here we are now, we're not living in space still. Alright, we're not out here living in space, traveling through dimensions and stuff. Alright? But it is a very quiet film. Like, it's focused more on the visuals and, like, the music. More so. The visuals and the music. But the story is that um humans, what was it? It was like something about rebirth and recreation and stuff like that. Pretty much, because at the end of the movie, main character ages like really, really fast. He dies and then he's reborn as a baby. It's so weird, but like the musical score is incredible. Um, there's this character, there's this robot character. I forgot his name. I forgot this little android guy. It's probably like the first ever experience of an android having a consciousness. It's probably like the first ever movie to have this idea. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if there's any movies later than that, but earlier than that. I'm not later. But yeah, it's this android with like human conscious that lives throughout the ship, and he's like evil as heck. The dude's devious as heck, but the movie's incredible for its time. It's mind blowing about the creativeness of this. Stanley Kubrick brought to the table here. It's incredible. Number 2. Oh yeah, right, because I got the mixed up. So this is number 2. The last one was number 3. Uh, Whiplash was 4. Memories of Murder was 5. Memories of Murder was 4. So 2001: Space Odyssey was 3. Whiplash, no, 2001: Space Odyssey was 3. Yeah, Whiplash was 4. Memories of Murder, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Whiplash was 4. Memories of Murder was 5. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, so number 2. Kind of got this whole thing mixed up because I forgot there was a movie I had higher than some other movie. So Punch Drunk Love is my number 2 movie I've seen in the past month, and holy crap, it's incredible. Adam Sandler freaking kills it. It's a dramatic movie, very dramatic. It's about this guy who is lonely, who hates himself pretty well. I wouldn't say hates himself, but he's very lonely throughout this movie. And then he finds the girl of his dreams. Finds this girl that he really likes. And it's a very beautiful story. Very well acted. Very well performed by Adam Sandler. I'm surprised he could do such things. It's great. His acting is great in this. Like, it's freaking incredible. That's pretty much all I could say about that. And then number 1 is Da Boot, Da Boot, Das Boot, Das Boot. It's German for the boat. It's a German movie. I freaking love this movie so much. Stress inducing, freaking anxiety levels up through the roof. It is so well freaking filmed, so well directed, so well acted. It's insane. So apparently this what is it? This German fleet, World War II. German fleet set out to, in this U-boat, is called a U-boat. Set out to this, it's sort of like a submarine kind of. You can go underwater, but like not super far down. But I can go underwater just enough to hide from the enemies. So, and their job is to take out the Americans on sea. right? So they're on this U-boat and they're driving, they're going out into sea, right? Many hours and days go by where nothing really happens, right? Like it is a very slow start, very slow paced start to this movie, right? So they set out, nothing happens, they get really bored, like there's nothing to do, they're just bored and just done with it, per se, right? And then once, boom, first shot fired, they're like, Americans, go, 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 like they're all excited, they're all happy, they're all, let's go, enemies, enemies, finally found someone, right? And, gosh, so, so they start attacking, Americans fight back, that type of thing, right? And the Americans put on their trackers, and they're like, oh crap, they're tracking us. So they had to bring the boat down under the tracking levels, right? And also, if they ever make a peep or a sound or anything, they'll be notified like that. They'll be caught like that. So there's this whole scene. I think it's like a 5 minute scene, just like them descending their submarine boat, slowly while they're really quiet. So it's just like this very quiet scene as they're just with the Americans above them. It is so intense. It's crazy, right? And they lower their boat so deep under the pressure levels, right? Their ship starts to crush in, starts to form into itself, it starts to like, break into itself. Water's coming to the ship and they're just sitting there quiet, not making a sound until Americans have passed. And once Americans have passed, they barely make it. They barely make it out alive. And they're like, frick, if this happens again, alright, we're dead. We're dead. And this happens 2 more times in the movie. And they survive. They make it out. And it's so well done. Each time is just so intense. It, I can't stress enough. It's freaking fantastic. It is incredible. Freaking love this movie, man. Gosh. Well, that's it for the movies I've seen all of November. Hope you liked it. Long video, almost 20 minutes. But yeah.